What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here from Most Valuable Podcast, here to give you our college football playoff rankings coming into week 11 of college football. I know what you're thinking. You're probably sitting there going, well, Ricky, how you guys usually do stuff like this is we saw you last week, so shouldn't we be seeing Brandon right now? Shouldn't Brandon be giving us this week in our college football rankings? That was my plan too, but you know, big guy didn't want to do it. I'm not going to force the big guy to do it. He might be here next week to give you the rankings. But you know what? The most important part is that we get you guys the rankings, how we do it. Brandon comes up with 10. I come up with 10. Each team is assorted a value. If you're number 1, you get 10 points. If you're number 10, you get 1 point. And we go through our top 10. One thing I want to specify also, because there was a little bit of confusion last week with this. These are not us predicting what is going to happen later tonight when the committee comes out with theirs. This is me and Brandon playing committee. We are the committee here. We are telling you what we have decided for our playoff. This is how we're going to do it. So it's not really a prediction. It's more of us. What do we see? But at the end, I'll ask you to predict what you guys see as well. So let's get right into it. And let's start from the bottom. We're going to go 10 through 7, talk about them, then I'll reveal the playoff just like they do on ESPN. So number 10, we're looking at Michigan State. Then number 9, Auburn. Number 8, Clemson. And number 7, Wisconsin. And these are some interesting teams. First off, Wisconsin, I'm calling for the hashtag new fake ID. Iowa finally turned 21. Wisconsin, I know on Twitter I was hit up and Wisconsin fans say we're not delusional like Iowa fans were. But easy schedule, good record. You might not be that delusional, but still you fit the fake ID criteria. And I'm calling for Wisconsin, the newest in the fake ID. Then we got Michigan State from the Big Ten as well. This is a team, big matchup, is going to be going up against the Buckeyes. They could climb in the rankings. Clemson, they could win the ACC and be towards the top. And then Auburn, they get to play 1 and 2, well, 1 and 2 from last week, and see if they can climb in these college football playoff rankings. But let's get into what you guys really care about. Number 1 through number 6, and let's pull up the bracket. We're going to start with number 1, and I'll be completely honest. Number 1 and number 2, not changing from last week. We got Alabama at number 1, Georgia at number 2. And I know the committee flipped these. Brandon and I, yet again, a unanimous number 1, number 2 again for Alabama and Georgia. Alabama number 1, Georgia. Really, they're interchangeable. These are, like I said, for the Notre Dame-Miami discussion Brandon and I had on the Primetime Podcast. This is all subjective. If you think Georgia should be number 1, cool. I can't argue. If you think Alabama should be number 1, cool. I can't argue. Guess what? These two teams are going to play each other at the end of the year. That's when we'll find out the true separation between them. Then number 3, another unanimous selection at number 3, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Big win this past week. They get to go and play Miami, and they get to kind of see if that playoff resume is going to stand true at number 3 or if they will be free falling down the rankings. Then at number 4, the TCU Horned Frogs, and this is a Big 12 team. Last week we had Oklahoma in the playoffs. This week we've got TCU cracking in at number 4. So our matchups are Alabama number 1 playing TCU, who's a number 4 team, and then we've got the rematch of week 2, the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs and the number 3 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Then the final 2. The first 2 teams left out of the playoffs. Number 5, the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners. And number 6, the Miami Hurricanes. And I'm fading in, and you guys see it. Miami fans, I always do it. I'm giving it, repping the U for you. Got to throw up the U whenever we talk about Miami. But just to kind of give you my final thoughts on these, Alabama and Georgia 1-2. As long as they keep winning, they'll stay there. We'll get that separation after the SEC title game. Notre Dame, they just have to win out they beat Miami, they'll probably stay number 3 in our rankings. I know on my side, I won't change it if they lose to Miami. However, if Miami beats Notre Dame, because I'll be honest, I had Miami at 6, right where they were in our combined rankings. If they beat Notre Dame, they could crack the top 4 next week in our rankings. And then Oklahoma, TCU, we're going to get that kind of mix-up at the 4-5, which one is going to steal that playoff spot coming into next week. So we got some big matchups this week that will affect our rankings next week. But right now we got Alabama, Georgia, Notre Dame, and the TCU Horned Frogs in our playoffs. This is where you guys come in. Let us know down below. Who do you got? Who's your 1 through 4? Who are your first 2 out? What teams are you looking at as kind of sneaky playoff teams that can get into the playoff rankings and will be players as we get through the rest of the season? I want to thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, have a good day, everybody.